Well, it's about time that I do this list so far, and that is the Pixar movie ranking with the new release by Lightyear. Yeah, I saw Lightyear on Disney Plus, and it was pretty good. Anyways, I don't have to tell my opinion on Lightyear because I need to rank all these Pixar movies by, well, weakest to best, not by worst to best, because there's literally no worst Pixar movie that I honestly don't dislike it. So anyways, let's just start with this list. Then before I do that, I have to put them in parts, by 1 to 2. Because it would be very long if I, do that. But to be honest with you guys, in my newer Pixar movie ranking might be better than my last one. Anyway, let's get started. Started with the bottom, man. To be honest, you know what it is, and it's pretty obvious. Disappointment in the game of life. And the award for the weakest Pixar movie of all time goes to The Good Dinosaur. To be honest, I'm not surprised that this movie was in the bottom of my list, but it is. You guys already know my opinion on The Good Dinosaur. If you actually saw my top 10 most disappointed movies of all time, this movie was on it. It was on my list as the most disappointing movie of all time. But I put it in the 10th place because I wouldn't say this movie wasn't really that bad. Like bad as Plan 51 or Short Tale or Emoji Movie or The Cat in the Hat. But I don't know, it was a huge letdown because I already told y'all my opinion on this movie, but it's very quick. This movie reminds me of a ripoff to Lion King and The Land Before Time. And for favorite reasons, this movie was actually flawless. I mean, I do have one positive. The animation actually does look nice. Everything else, I don't know, the story is, you already know. And the characters, I don't know, they're kind of boring and bland. And forgettable and generic. I mean, come on. Arlo, honestly, don't care about him. Spy's a cute character, I'm not gonna lie. And that's pretty much all I have to say about The Good Dinosaur. It's just not an interesting movie. Not bad, but I don't know, it's just disappointing how much I have to say about this movie. So yeah, Pixar, don't make a sequel on The Good Dinosaur. Please don't.
What are you doing? No, stop! Oh! No, stop!
Phew. Hope the next movie won't get worse than the other one.
I'll never be like you. No, stop that! I'd rather die than be like you.
Oh no, my mistake. Look guys, I never really cared about Brave at all. Well, I used to like it though, but rewatching this movie is kind of boring. I mean, not bad, just like The Good Dinosaur, but just boring and lame. I regret saying Frozen was overrated. I think that movie was actually a classic compared to this. I know that because it's actually a better movie. Brave is just boring, but it's not bad. It's not like the worst movie of 2012, Hotel Transylvania. But still, it's kind of fine. I mean, the daughter and the mother relationship is kind of fine-ish. Sometimes it might be fine in the opening though, but when they're arguing, it was really bad. The argument makes me not like Brave that much. But to be honest, well, there's sometimes some scenes could be very tearful to watch. And the one thing that actually bored me was the bear scene. The bear is honestly the reason why this movie was honestly ruined to me. To be honest, guys, I never really care about Brave at all. It's not bad, it's just boring and also disappointing to watch. I mean, come on. There's nothing to talk about Brave. And surprisingly, it's actually better than Cars 2. Yeah, to be honest, it actually is. Oh yeah, speaking of that movie...
Look out, ladies. Mater's fitting to get funky.
Look, I can handle everyone's opinion if anyone don't like Cars 2. I literally can handle anyone's opinion. I mean, I did saw everybody's Pixar ranking, and this movie ended up in dead last. I know everybody hated it, but to me, this this movie wasn't really that bad as everybody says. I mean, it's not a good movie. It's just a okay, harmless sequel though. But I still have problems because, man, unlike this movie, it's not really a lesser good movie. I mean, the animation looks nice, but the plot is very stupid. Where Mater become a spy, please. And speaking of that, man, everybody literally hate Mater. I mean, leave the guy alone. I mean, sure, Mater could make a big mistake sometimes. He could embarrass Lightning McQueen so much. But in the end, you could actually learn to respect this character a little bit more. I mean, Mater is honestly my favorite Pixar character because he's funny. And with him and his friendship with Lightning McQueen is actually astonishing. But the whole other movie, the plots of the stuff, it looks dumb, but I would say this movie is not a movie that I could put in my top 10 movies that I like but everybody else don't hate. It's fine though, but it could be actually at least better. At least Cars 3 actually did better than this movie. Sure, Cars 2 is not really a successful movie where everybody called this the most disappointing Pixar movie of all time. But any other way, it's fine. And I really wish that everybody will stop hating Mater. I mean, literally, stop treating him like Jar Jar Banks. I'm sorry, guys. But still, Cars 2 is just fine. Not a bit too fine that much. Okay, guys, now we're getting to the good movies this time. Now, for the other one, it's not really a masterpiece to me. I haven't really watched it in a while, but it's just a good movie. I know it has some problems, but in the end, you can honestly really enjoy it. And it's really an old movie, but it's another way that counts. And by number 23, I think? Yeah, number 23 is actually the next movie, A Bug's Life. For the creators who made Toy Story, have made this movie that's actually quite a ripoff to DreamWorks' Ants. But in the other hand, this movie is actually a pretty good movie. Enjoyable, not really a masterpiece, but enjoyable as well. Sure, this movie has some little bit of problems though. The wide review honestly suck. But on the other hand, everything else looks great. Sure, Flint is honestly a messed up guy who always messed up everything, but trying to actually remake it to make a peace offering. And they try to make sure that the ants will be safe. And the ants always keep on getting treated by the grasshoppers like the ants are the slaves. But anyway, by watching this movie in Disney Plus, it's actually pretty good. I actually like it. Sure, it's not a masterpiece to me as all, but it's just a good, enjoyable movie. I do like the story a little bit. Well, not really that much. And the characters are great. Like the circus bugs are really nice in general. And sure, it's very good, no problems at all, but except the live review. I mean, it was a little too harsh to the live review. I mean, Flint actually told the truth about the bugs are not really the tough bugs, they belong in the circus. And they told him to leave and never come back. It's just too harsh. But anyway, he came back, saved the ants, and then boom, perfect movie. I mean, sure, the live reviews suck, but hey, at least it's way better than I am not a real shark slayer! Next up on number 22 is Monsters University, which started the beginning how Mike and Sully actually met. They met at college where they used to be enemies, but rather than the scare games, they started to get along pretty easily. And now for this movie, well, some people might say it's a fine movie or call it overrated. But to me, I honestly think it was actually a good movie. Not a masterpiece, but still a fun, good movie. I mean, I do like the creative animation and the new version of Mike and Sully. That's actually nice. Where Mike have a retainer at all. Everything else was actually pretty good. Do I have flaws in this movie? Well, kind of. I mean, the story could be it's a little fine-ish. I mean, and Randall, or should I say Randy, actually was ruining the movie. Literally, he barely was in this movie. But anyway, this movie was just a really good, enjoyable movie. I liked the crew of the Ugas Macapa. They were pretty great. And so yeah, this movie is actually pretty good. I have nothing else to say about this movie except it was a good, enjoyable movie. That's all. Now coming at number 21 is a movie that I used to call it my favorite Pixar movie of all time. I collect merchandise over it. I call this my favorite, and I thought it was a good movie. But because of the hate, now it's kind of not. It's still a great movie though. It's just not my favorite movie of all time. Or my favorite Pixar movie of all time. But still a great classic. And that movie is... Yep, the first Cars movie. Which I used to call it my favorite movie of all time. But they said the hate, now it's not. It's still a great movie though. It's just not my favorite. But anyways, Cars is just a great movie. And it's great on my childhood. And the story was actually, I guess, good, but not really great enough. But yeah. With the gray in the streets on the road hand, it's actually a pretty fun movie. Where a jerk, which is Lightyear McQueen, used to learn the experience on Radiator Springs. Until when he changed on Radiator Springs, he started to actually become a really creative, development character, which is actually pretty good on him. And so yeah. Which I already explained all my opinion on Cars on my top 10 movies that I like, but everybody else hates. So yeah, I mean the animation was actually nice. The characters are great, which is like McQueen, who used to be a jerko, but now when he went to Radiator Springs, he started to become a great developing character. He started to be actually chill, you know, to make people like him. And also, the other Radiator Springs characters are actually great. Sally's great. Doc Hudson, which is Hudson Horton, was also great. And Mater, my favorite Pixar character of all time. I know you guys don't really like him that much because you all keep treating him like a Jar Jar Binks, which he's not. But yeah, Mater's actually a great character. And that's all I have to explain about this movie. So yeah, next one please. Now, for the next movie, which is in the 20th place, we're in the top 20, which is what I like to call Celeste Bruno, also known as Luca. Now, for this movie, it's about a little sea monster named Luca, who wants to be part of their world. No, I'm not gonna pronounce it as the Little Mermaid, but it kind of looks like a ripoff of it. But still, I think Luca was honestly an enjoyable movie. I mean, some people might like it, some people might hate it though. They call it overrated, but still, I'll say it's a great movie. Too bad it wasn't released in the cinemas. It skipped it at the cinemas. But still, I think everybody liked Luca. It's actually a great creative movie. The story was actually really great. The animation looks nice. Kind of looks like animation of Cloud with the chest of meatballs. The characters are great, except for one character. But still, I do like the performance of the plot, how creative, how talented it is. So yeah. And the characters are great. Luca, Alberto, Julia, literally all the characters are great. Well, except for one, which is, you know who I'm talking about. But anyways, I think it's actually very creative, very nice and stuff, and yeah. And I like to say it's a good movie, 3 grades, but I won't say it's not really a masterpiece to me. It was the weakest one where I had to wait them in Disney Plus. I mean, so this movie and Turn Red, which Turn Red is so way better than this movie. No, I wouldn't say it's not bad, but still, it's actually pretty enjoyable. It's just not really creative as Turning Red and Soul. But all I have to say is very good, great, talented, and all that stuff. Kind of looks like a ripoff of The Little Mermaid, but hey, it's still a fine. The only problem I have with this movie is the main villain. I mean, seriously, I did not like him. He kind of reminded me of Prince Charming or Shrek the Third because they're both despisable. And yeah. But yeah, this movie is still good. And all I have to say is, Celeste Bruno. Now for the next movie is, well, the most recent movie. And you know what I'm talking about. And yeah, you already know. It's Lightyear. Now for this movie, you actually see an origin story of Lightyear. Buzz Lightyear. Remember where Andy would like to buy a Buzz Lightyear toy? Well, wait to see if he see his favorite movie of all time, which is Lightyear. So yeah, in which I was honestly really excited to see Lightyear, which it was actually pretty good. Since I like all the Toy Story movies, I would like to see this movie. Too bad I didn't see it in cinemas. But seeing it in Disney Plus is actually really good. Sadly, it flopped in the box office for no apparent reasons. But still, this movie is also a great movie. It kinda looks like it was made for Marvel though, but if you see it, it kinda reminds me of you actually seeing it like a Marvel movie. But still, Lightyear was actually a good movie. The characters look fine though, but the only characters that I actually like were Buzz Lightyear, that girl, and Socks. Socks was actually a great character. He reminds me of vibes of Baymax from Big Hero 6. So yeah. I wouldn't say it's not a masterpiece. It's kind of the weakest one out of the Toy Story movies. But still, Buzz Lightyear has a great origin story that could actually impress me. Too bad I explained about it real short, but yeah. Now, I have to actually explain it later with the other ones in part 2. And when I did that, I would make part 3 though. And I can't lie, Socks is actually a great character.
Whale calls?
No. White noise is fine.
Very well.
Good night, Socks.
Good night, Buzz.